Welcome back to a series so sparky, even Luxray subscribed. In today's video, Hasan's chatters are explaining to him that he's a very unlikable person. He is not happy. Hasan is now claiming that his fans are not actually harassing Ludwig's girlfriend, Cutie. People have proven he is lying once again, and it's definitely unhinged Hasan fans. The drama has escalated further, and Cutie is being harassed again by Hasan fans for being friends with the FaZe guys or anyone else who makes edgy jokes. She has responded. Ethan is calling out the man without a spine, Ludwig. XUC has also responded, cooking Ludwig for trying to expose him. Streamer Emiru has revealed that Twitch prevented disclosing the name of her assaulter in order to protect themselves. She has also accused streamer Mizkif of very bad things and a bunch of more updates. Subscribe or you gotta feed Froggen. You're cooked.
Let's up those numbers!
Now let's begin. So Hasan apparently zapped his dog and we had a ton of stuff go down. Now after all that, he said he wanted to quit streaming because of the backlash.
I want to shut everything off. I just want to go away.
So that brings us to today. Hasan's chatter is now explaining to him that he's not a likable person.
All leftists are like that. I think it's just you, dog. You're just an asshole. No offense. No offense. But as someone who agrees with 80% of your politics, it's crazy how unlikable you are. I don't even know why. Okay. Who do you perceive as a more likable figure? Like this is what I mean. This is what I'm talking about. I like that the three people that you mentioned as a much more likable figure are the three people that I have direct communication with, like are the closest, with the exception of, I mean, I guess like Rashida Tlaib or Ilhan Omar. They like me quite a bit, as a matter of fact. Maybe they see something you don't. I don't know. Also, those are politicians. They have to be, probably because they don't watch your stream. Oh, okay. Who do you think is at fault here? Guy who agrees with overwhelming majority of my opinions, but simply can't seem to place your finger on why you just have distaste for me and you can't let go of that optical resentment? Or guy who's trying to navigate way you talk, I think. Or guy who's just trying to navigate through the treacherous nature of reactionary politics that are so pervasive online. It's because I give off a frat dude vibe. All right, man.
Dude, I love how the instant Hasan response is desperately trying to find anything that this guy said that actually makes him look crazy, right? This is just a classic Hamas Piker playbook. Let me quickly find something he said. Oh, maybe he's mentioned Asmongold in a chat before. Maybe he said the word Ethan, right? And that would automatically discredit him. It just can't be a regular chatter of Hasan. It cannot be a fan of him because he thinks that he's just beloved by his fan base, despite the fact that now we've had multiple instances of his own fan base turning on him. We had the 40-month subscriber, someone who's been paying you money for 3 years straight, calling you out, and you just cannot seem to grasp the message. Also, is it just me, or did he start tweaking there? What the hell was he doing with his mouth there? I don't know if he was like trying to bite his nails or something, trying to do his best XQC impression there, but copying him is not going to give you his 2 million IQ. Also, I just want to point out the obvious. Notice how the dog is missing in a lot of these new clips. I don't know, guys. Seems like the place command is not working without the Zapatron 9000. This absolute piece of shit. Free Kaya from the fridge to the TV. Kaya will be free. I really dislike a streamer of his size pulling up a random chatter on his screen for this long. It's not so bad when you're a smaller streamer, parasocial community building. How many thousands of people are watching you berate this chatter? Teaching the chat it's okay to dogpile. I mean, this is just a classic. Hasan will be like, oh yeah, I'm only going after the big dogs, the people in power, the politicians who deserve it. But he's routinely, like, probably like 50% of the clips are Hasan shitting on his own chat, singling them out, whether he be pulling out a gun on them, trying to dox them, or basically just sick his entire fan base on them, right? To silence any form of dissent. No self-reflection, just small grunts and chuckles under his breath as he pulls up the chatter's logs to try to find something to attack them with, only to realize he's an actual fan giving criticism, which isn't allowed. Probably banned him after the stream. I don't know know if he banned him because he kind of needs to hold on to all his supporters. The views are dwindling, and we all know what happens when Hasan's views go down. He starts going to his Discord, telling them how he's gonna neck himself, trying to guilt trip them into subscribing and shit. Right, now remember how Ludwig and QT were getting non-stop harassment from deranged Hasan fans? Now Ludwig was getting harassment because he said it is 100% a shock collar, and then he walked it back, you know, like good old Jellywig, dared to grow a spine and then immediately lost it. And QT got harassment for daring to mention Asmongold's streamer show, and she said that, you know, it could possibly be a good thing. Well, Hasan has responded claiming that it's not his fans that are doing the harassment, guys. My fans would never harass anybody, actually, and we'll prove he's a fucking liar again because we have the evidence. Hasan says it's not his fans going after QT, it's another section of the left. Of course, it cannot be him, guys.
A competing award show or something, and everyone got mad at her, and they were like, why are you highlighting these right-wing figures? It's true, Aiden Ross and Asmongold are right-wing figures. They are. This is not any sort of serious, sincere advocacy. And I'm not even taking ownership over the people that were doing that, because like I literally looked to see if these were like genuine fans of mine or something, because guess what? They weren't. But also, guess what? Every other community that saw people yelling, at Cutie Cinderella, do you know what they think? They think it was my audience that did that. Because anyone who feels slighted by a hall monitor on the internet, okay? Anyone who feels slighted by a hall monitor on the internet immediately associates that with the broad leftist movement. And for many people who have horse blinders on, that don't see the world outside of this like little confine that we exist in this little echo chamber that we live in, I am the representative of all things left and all things woke. They don't see so many people that would yell at Cutie for something like that also yelling at me, saying I'm anti-black, saying this, saying that. They don't see that shit. Or when they do, they go, oh, here it is. These fucking woke libtards are eating each other alive once again. For the average person, they don't have the political education to sift through the different sects of the left.
Right, of course. So people are just too stupid to understand anything, obviously, without the Hasan Piker filter, right? They don't have the political education of Hasan here, right? And they can't understand that it's not his fans actually harassing her. Now, yes, they might have Hasan profile pictures, Hasan stan names commenting under Hasan's Twitter community, but it's not my fans, guys. This guy is such a pathological liar, it's actually insane. I'm honestly impressed every single time. Right, so Dan Saltman responded, every single person from the viral screenshot harassing Ludwig and QT is a member of Hasan Twitter or is self-admitted to being a Hasan fan. Even half of the examples were in Hasan Twitter Lamau. He just lies like he breeds. And here was the viral screenshot of Hasan fans just hounding Ludwig, right? And we got all these people and they all seem to be Hasan fans in some way or the other. You got the Hasan Twitter community right there. And then they mention him in their profiles or in other tweets saying they have merch, etc., etc. And keep in mind, this is a completely random screenshot. So you can just imagine the scale. We've took a random sample here and they all happen to be Hasan viewers. It's insane. Another person responds, why is anyone taking these fake woke hypocrites seriously? It's literally just Hasan fans using anything they can to get back at QT for what she said about the color. Go through and check each profile that's attacking QT. Right, so this is another situation which we'll get to very soon. He can't make those jokes around me. You're not who you associate with, actually. And if you look up this person, I thought I left my Hasan merch at the yoga studio. My Hasan merch, guys. Hasan literally opened his home to you. This is effing gross. This is Shockgate is Hasan's wildest cancellation. I can't believe this. It's not Hasan fans harassing her, guys. Happy birthday, Hasan. Interesting, guys. These are not Hasan fans. I want you to know, not Hasan fans. Tecton responded, yeah, Hasan, this definitely isn't your chat. Dear God, has this guy not lied one time? When have you ever said anything for Palestine? There's one guy who sits and commentates on the issue, and it's so obviously a smear campaign. Of course, everything is about Israel-Palestine. I wonder whose fans say that. You've been watching H3 stuff. How long until he says it's Israel going after QT and they're framing his community? He doesn't do anything about it because Ludwig and QT stepped out of line. If he actually cared, he'd cross-platform ban these people from the communities, but he'll never do that. Oh, he's absolutely happy that his rabid community is now going after QT and Ludwig, right? Because they betrayed him, right? Even though Ludwig tried to walk it back, it's not enough for the overlord Hasan. Now, if that wasn't bad enough, apparently Hasan fans are harassing her again over another drama. Basically, QT said that she's still going to be friends with people who make these edgy jokes, right? Homophobic or racist jokes or whatever. And Hasan fans are going nuts on her. QT is catching heat from the parts of Twitter post Ludwig Collargate response, calling out her association to FaZe and the response to criticism. QT, when your boyfriend Ludwig is a gay card and was at TwitchCon making fun of Q people, and when your new besties from FaZe that you're obsessed with are homophobic and transphobic on the daily, what do you expect us to think about when you're actively associating with them? And they've posted this clip. Also, keep in mind the profile, protect the dolls, like a trans flag, free Palestine, leftist fighting incels, transphobe, homophobes, racist, and the occasional Swiftie. Right.
It's not comfortable.
This is my perfect example. It's like, okay, I collab with Lacey. Lacey makes some homophobic jokes sometimes that I am not comfortable with the homophobic jokes Lacey has made. Lacey knows that he can't make those jokes around me. That does not mean that I am homophobic. Believe it or not, everybody.
Yes.
Like, you are not who you associate with. Like, shut the fuck up. You're like, you don't build bridges by burning them. That's not how it works. I'm not going to change, though. I'm not going to. I will never believe that if I'm kind to a hateful person, that means I agree with them. I will never believe that. No matter what you guys say, I won't believe it. Because at the end of the day, if I'm around a racist person, I'm just not racist. I'm not. Me, I am not. They are, yes. But how am I supposed to help them ever? By cutting them off? No. Like, I get it. You guys can think in black and white, but that's not how it works over here.
Right. So it obviously depends on the specific joke or whatever the context is, right? If someone is like actively being a piece of shit, or, you know, they're being like a PDF file, you know, going after minors, or if they're a terrorist supporter like Hasan, I don't think you should be friends with them or promote them or help them make money through your podcast. And, you know, QT does that, so I don't like her for that. But I do sort of understand this, where if you have a friend that's making like a bunch of edgy jokes and they're not actually like racist or anything like that, they're just, you know, a little more edgy or whatever, and they like that sort of humor, I mean, I don't think you should care that much. But obviously in some instances you gotta navigate the nuance there. Like if someone is making fun of dead kids after a tragedy, right after a tragedy, saying they deserve to drown, you know, some shit like Destiny or NMP, then I think you're a dickhead, because it's so specific and cruel and timed, right? To shit on the emotions of people through a tragedy, right? That is different than general random shit or making a random gay joke or whatever, right? And what do you know, Hasan's community is instantly canceling her for her associations with some of the FaZe guys who apparently make these jokes. You are the company you keep. In fact, I don't think QT is homophobic or racist, but to say I'm not who I associate myself with, well, not quite. It does influence who you are to some degree. It shows what you choose to tolerate and makes you more complicit than neutral by saying just don't do it around me. I kind of do agree with that, right? When you know, hang around people like Hasan, for instance, right? I don't think that makes you completely innocent, because you're not just hanging around him, right? You're having a podcast with him. You're defending him out on these multiple occasions, going on other people's streams defending him as well. I think that's just not okay, and actually shows you support a lot of things he stands for. This streamer says, is it really a bad thing for someone like QT to give people a chance to learn and improve? She actively condemns things people say, even when it's a joke made in bad taste and from an outsider POV. Evidence she taught people a lot about how their worlds hold weight and can be more negatively perceived than they realize. There's so much more to her than the intentions. You are not who you associate with. And in my opinion, criticizing her for this heavily nuanced sentiment that was boiled down to one simple sentence discounts everything she's been working for, which has no doubt always been inclusivity and cohabitation. God, these people really think they're like the saviors of society or something. I'm going to heal racism. I'm going to solve racism one racist at a time. Like, you people exist for one sole reason, and is to maintain good PR and to try to convince the rest of the internet that you are the most moral and good person. And it never works. It never works. The people she supposedly taught to be better people did a fake coming out tweet on someone's account recently, and they all laughed about it. They've been this way for years. At a certain point, she and others are at best naively running cover for them as they cause harm. You are not who you associate with. Biz and their refusal to take accountability and who they're friends with needs to be studied. Buddy with shitty people who say shitty things makes you shitty, dumbass. I love how I sort of agree, but for completely different reasons. Like, I don't care about the dumbass edgy jokes. I care about the Hasan support. All right, I'm very single-minded in that issue. He can't make those homophobic jokes around me. You're not who you associate with. I've never heard something so privileged. Sorry, but actively associating with people who's homophobic then telling people to call you out is crazy work. 6K likes and there's like 100 of these tweets. Moving on to Ludwig. Right, quick recap. Last time, Ludwig turned on Hasan saying it was 100% a shot caller.
I think he lied about having a shot caller. I think he 100% had a shot caller.
Then he apparently got the boss call and he put the shot caller on, he got zapped, and then he changed his mind, right? Now he's saying that on his mother's life, it's a vibration caller.
I didn't see prongs. I'm pretty sure it's a vibrate caller. On my mother's life.
Rip Ludwig's mom, I guess. So Ethan responded reacting to the Ludwig Colorgate reversal. Ethan says, Hasan, I'm sending an ultra top secret photo to Ludwig to prove my innocence. I will not be sharing it with anyone else. Oh my god, that's actually so true. Because if Hasan actually had this top secret photo that just proved his innocence and exonerated him completely, he would instantly show it to the internet. Why would he only show it to Ludwig and show him the close-up photos and be like, oh yeah, I totally convinced my pal Ludwig right here. Now, Ludwig did say it wasn't Hasan that sent him those photos, but it's probably some Hasan associate or whatever. And Hasan probably sent them those photos, right? The origination of the photos obviously came from Hasan because he's the one with the color, right? So if you just think about it logically, it makes absolutely no sense. And the fact that Ludwig fell for this just, I don't know. But his IQ is rapidly dropping after being a Hasan orbiter. Ethan continues, all right, my short-lived respect for Ludwig is gone. XQC is not driving Colorgate, it's Hasan. Every time he lies about it, he prolongs it. And Ludwig, you act like you're better. Bro, you were the reason this story exploded again this week. And now you backtracking is once again prolonging the drama. You are driving it forward way more than XQC with your antics. Grow a fucking spine. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god, bro. The entire internet has co-opted this spineless jellyfish language. It's actually hilarious. W Ethan for this take. I don't know why he started going demon time on XQC, being like, he's the most chaotic, evil person fanning the flames of the drama. He's the biggest streamer perpetuating this drama. Like, come on, dude. Like, Ludwig definitely played a massive role in prolonging it. Hasan himself. It all just ties back to Hasan, honestly. Moving on to XQC. So Ludwig was calling XQC a chaotic, evil human, even though it's not his fault for this whole drama. And Ludwig said that XQC didn't actually care about the dog being abused and he's just trying to farm drama. So XQC responded on Twitter saying that that's not what he said. Now he's following up, cooking Ludwig.
I don't give a fuck if he abuses the dog. I don't give a fuck if he's a shot caller.
I said, in the grand scheme of things.
Will you be playing?
And I remember saying, the next thing I'm going to say, I said, if you put all the things that somebody can do to be wrong in the grand scheme of things, right? Like this shot caller possible story,
XQC.
right? Is not even in the top 50% of like, in the grand scheme of things, it's not the end of the world. I said, this is not something that ends your career. It's just not. I think everybody's gonna agree with me. Yes, it's bad. Yes, don't do that shit. Yes, it's fucking starts with the animal. Don't be a bitch ass. But in the grand scheme of things, right? I don't care enough about this to go on a crusade and go, oh my god, animal rights, animal rights. Nobody, when I said that, nobody blinked an eye. If anything, I got nods and people said, yeah, okay, yeah, what you said, it makes sense.
He has an alter ego called the Debunker.
Yo,
I think
I don't even control the Debunker. I don't even control that. It just happens. Never try to go after the Debunker if you're not really the guys. If you go against the Debunker, you have to debunk. It's how you win. I'm telling you the kryptonite of the Debunker. You debunk the Debunker or you stay hidden. Little buddy, you stay hidden.
Bro, I can't actually believe this, but XQC is more likable than Ludwig now. I mean, the fact that Ludwig turned into the ultimate jellyfish is crazy, dude. He was just about to have a semblance of common sense, and just about to break free from Hasan's place command, but then he got shocked back into submission. It was like Palpatine Piker executed Order 66, and Ludwig, like the fucking clone trooper he is, turned his mind around like a chip installed in his brain. Like, isn't that exactly what happened here? He was on one side, execute Order 66, and then he turns around like, bro, this is the Star Wars universe. The debunker is a better alter ego than spineless jellyfish. It's like a meme. It's like not even a real thing, and he's getting so pressed about it. This is what I don't understand. He literally did not get the meme. The unemployed must really be getting the 9-to-5 experience keeping up with all this drama lately. Honestly, shout out to the people who are working a 9-to-5 and still finding time to watch the legendary series. Like, I've seen the comments on your break, before work, sometimes during work. I don't know what kind of work you're doing where you're watching my videos on the side, but I approve. Okay, it probably boosts your performance like 30% or something, but yeah, shout out to you guys. Right, so then XCC responds to Hasan saying that the situation is being blown out of proportion.
What kind of dog is forced to stay in one area and sleep for 5 hours? I was like, every dog.
Yeah.
Have you been around a dog?
Yeah.
They love sleeping.
A lot of people that complain probably crate their dogs all day when they're at work.
Their dogs are like living inside of piss and shit as they go and work in a fucking...
Oh my god, yo, bro, this is like a SNL skit. It's gotta be, right? Brother man. Yo, you guys have seen Eiko's dog on my stream. You know what happens with the dog? Yeah, it sleeps behind me all the time, right? It sleeps there. It'll sleep off camera, out the room. Brother, yes, the dog sleeps all day. It's forced to sleep in one spot though. Brother, it has a designated painted lines zone. It has, guys, it's trained to place. Yeah, but explain, why does it have to place though? What are you a blind person that has to go sit in class and it has to be there? What is the explanation for what it has to be in a place? Why?
I mean, exactly. There is zero reason that Hasan has to actually electrocute the living shit out of his dog, right? This isn't a life or death situation. This isn't a situation where the dog is running onto oncoming traffic. It's not dealing with dangerous criminals where it needs to be perfectly trained. This is you forcing her to stay on stream as a prop in a fucking 1x1 square. It is disgusting. You're a piece of shit. You've been caught lying, and no amount of Hollywood streamers gaslighting us is going to convince us otherwise. Moving on to the Emiru situation. Basically, Emiru was essayed at TwitchCon due to the lack of security measures. I can't show the clip because like 3 of my videos got restricted and demonetized because of it, even though I showed it completely censored and didn't even show it, to be honest. But that's YouTube. You can't even condemn bad things happening without even showing it. This is crazy. Anyways, now she's saying that Twitch refused to reveal the assaulter in order to protect themselves. Emiru reveals that Twitch initially refused to hand over the name of her assaulter to San Diego police until someone called in with a concerning tip.
Told her that at their place of work, someone came into their work who matched the description of the guy, and this person was saying like, oh, I'm, traveling to Texas, and I caused like quite a stir at a TwitchCon, and this person reached out to my manager, reached out to police, San Diego police interviewed them. But basically what I'm trying to say is because all this stuff was delayed, this guy was able to get really far away from San Diego, allegedly. And this whole time my manager was basically begging Twitch, dude, please give us his name. We don't know who this person is. For all we know, he lives around where Emmy and her roommates live. I can't help her if I don't know who this person is, and they were refusing to do it. But after that tip from the person who said that the guy came into their workplace and was talking to him, my manager demanded the info from Twitch. So they did end up giving it to police, but not my manager as far as I know. She still doesn't. Yeah, so the investigation's still going on, but it's been a huge mess because of all of the delays and refusal to work with the police. And yeah, it's ongoing. I can't say too much about it. All this that I'm saying, obviously I ran by my lawyer and stuff,
Hello, Twitch CEO Dan Clancy here. Greetings, Emiru, big fan. I heard a mentally deranged gooner freak assaulted you. Well, what you didn't know is that's my boy right there. He's part of my club, actually. The secret gooner society of Twitch, of which I am the leader, of course. We can't have my boy and my disciple getting arrested, can we now? You understand, don't you, Emiru? I'll gift you an extra sub, and hopefully this all goes away. Whoopsie, gotta go. I got a party with 3 19-year-old e-girls. Dan the dynamic diddler Clancy out. Guys, I don't know what to do. He's in my walls. I've tried contacting the police. They say they don't deal with ghosts and demons and gooners especially, so. Moving on to the latest story here. Twitch streamer Emiru has accused fellow streamer Mizkif of assault, abuse, stalking, harassment, and threats of blackmail. Oh boy. Emiru detailed her allegations on stream and says she has filed a restraining order. Destiny, small meme leak because I used to be in these circles. Mizkif did the same stuff to Maya too. He'd go live at the same time as her shows and staff to cuck her viewership because he started to get ass mad that her viewership was climbing. I love how Destiny loves to use the word cuck, by the way. It's just, you know, funny. Right, so this is an ongoing story. Mizkif used to be one of the biggest streamers. The accusations are nuts. She's claiming this dude was like an unhinged psychopath who raged at her for having more viewers, chucked like phones at her, SA'd her, blackmailed her, threatened to neck himself, and just like so much bad shit. Emiru's live talking about her story.
I'm finally going to be opening up about the psychological and domestic abuse, stalking and harassment, sexual assault, and threats of blackmail that Mizkif has done towards me, and some of these issues which are still ongoing. For the entirety of this year, I have attempted to separate myself from him and not talk about him at all, and not talk about this issue and just not make it a public thing. I always tried my best to keep this to myself, but like I said, I feel like it's gone to the point, which I'll explain later, that I feel like it just has to be done.
Right, so she goes on to say that he's apparently been doing this behavior with other people and it's harming others, so that's why she's choosing to speak out about it. Obviously, wait till you hear both sides of the story before jumping to any conclusions, but for now, just hear her out and hear her side of the story. Emiru says that Mizkif has been indirectly threatening her for a while.
I don't want what happened to me or what has happened to other people because of him to happen to other people, and I don't believe he will ever stop behaving the way he does. But regardless, yeah, like I said, one of the main reasons I decided to do this stream is to come out about all of this because I can't hold on to it any longer because it feels wrong to do so. And an honorable mention reason for why I'm doing this is that for a while, he has been indirectly threatening me through my friends and people that I work with. They've informed me that he said that if I ever talked about anything he did, he would try to create a smear campaign against me in retaliation. I was told that he even approached other streamers who were close with us back when we lived together, asking them if they would join with him, and they all refused. At TwitchCon, he approached one of my employees, threatening them and saying if I ever talked about him, he would destroy me. Multiple people have told me that his plan was to claim that I kill animals and that I kill my own rabbits, since I had several of my rabbits pass away over the course of 3 years while I lived with him. I'm sure he's probably listening now, and it's probably going to come as quite a shock to him that this information made its way back to me and that I've known for months. But if you try to threaten me to stay quiet, especially using my poor dead animals, I'm not going to stay quiet. Okay.
Right, that just sounds absolutely nuts. That sounds like some crazy ass blackmail the way she described there. Now, she has provided some screenshots and stuff, but not everything, of course. Maybe there's more evidence behind the scenes or whatever. She seems to be working with lawyers as well legally on the issue. So it depends if they're going to take some legal action here. So probably can't share much more. But yeah, take of that as you will. Emiru talks about some of the abuse she experienced. Destroyed walls, banging on the door, screaming.
Walls. Again, you can go see this in some of his VODs in his bedroom. The holes in the wall. There would be times where he was upset at me, and I would go to my stream room and literally lock myself in to get away from him, and he would be banging on the door and screaming at me. And at the time, he also would more often do things like going, if we were driving in the car together, he would be going 150 miles an hour, and one time he even said well, now we're both gonna die, like threatening to kill both of us. And this wasn't like even necessarily because of me or like because of something I did a lot of the time. Like one of the times that it happened, it was because we were just getting food and he was on his phone and he saw that Mr. Beast had put out a video and Mr. Beast had invited another streamer and he was like, oh, Mr. Beast invited this guy to his video, not me. And I was like, oh, well, you know, like, huh, yeah, I guess so. Which led to him going 150 miles per hour in the car and talking about killing himself while doing it. And then at home, other things would happen, like I'd be trying to sleep and he would scream at me and say that it was all my fault that he felt insecure. There was a time that I walked into a room that he was in, and as soon as he saw me there, he threw his phone at the dresser and started yelling because I had posted a YouTube video within the same couple of days as him, and mine was doing better. So basically, I felt like I was kind of stuck in a loop where I felt like I had to constantly perform and like prove my value to not be thrown away. But at the same time, if I ever performed too well, I was gonna be punished for it.
No way bro wants to die over a Mr. Beast invite. That's diabolical, bro. What the fuck is that? That's gotta be like the most pathetic thing I've ever heard. Yeah, what she's describing there is just completely insane. That is just not normal behavior. And if this turns out to be true, right, all of her accusations, then I feel like his career will be over for sure, right? This is not something you can come back from. Jesus, he needs to attend therapy and work out a lot of the issues in his life. Mizkif's offline chat, I feel like I wasted years of my life. Now the question is, did Twitch know? My god. Basically high school drama with millionaire narcissist. Emiru accuses Mizkif of SA. Right, so this part, she basically says that she was like very vulnerable and crying, and then, you know, he kissed her, and then he tried to like put his hands down her pants and do more, and then she screamed, and then he jumped out of the way like a cat or something. I don't really want to play this part, not gonna lie, but yeah, she continues to describe even more abuse, like black eyes, obsessiveness. She also says that she's expecting a lawsuit from him.
He would throw bottles, like plastic bottles with liquid in it, not like glass bottles, at me, despite me telling him like I didn't like it and it scared me and I bruised very easily. He would throw his phone at me. I would tell him, you know, it scared me, I don't like it. And one time it even hit me in the eye, which caused me to get a black eye, but he always, you know, was like, oh, it's an accident. And I was like, oh yeah. I also had a couple other streamers report to me that he would obsessively watch my stream and not in a like, oh, I wonder what Emmy's doing right now way, or like having my stream open. Like he would be obsessively and attentively hate watching my stream, like watching my stream and just saying horrible things almost every time that I've been live this year. I would not be surprised if he tries to sue me for this stream that I did today and for coming out about him. Not because he thinks that he would win, but for PR reasons, like a slap lawsuit. It'd be interesting if that happened, and I wouldn't be opposed to people finding out more of the truth and things that I didn't even talk about today and what else he's been lying about. And I'm sure there's also plenty of things that even I don't know about. And yeah, there's more things that I didn't even talk about today, but I'm hoping that now that I have this out, this is the last time I ever have to talk about it. And I can be like, okay, I got it out there. I'm not withholding this anymore. It's out there. And yeah.
Right, so she's literally expecting a lawsuit from him as well, something like a slap or whatever, right? And which means, I'd hope, that she has all the evidence on deck and ready to present in order to win any court case thrown at her, right? It seems like she has discussed this with her lawyers and maybe thought this through, but obviously this all depends on Mizkif's response, whether he has any evidence that disproves her allegations, right? right? Obviously, in these situations, again, I want to reiterate, you don't want to jump to conclusions, even if you really like one side or whatever. Just sort of take in all the facts and then come to a logical conclusion, right? So Asmon responds, and he's been aware of this for a while. He's supporting Emiru. He's her friend as well. And he's telling Mizkif to leave the internet. Asmon calls out the Miz kids. He has an open message to Mizkif. F off, have some dignity, and retire.
Wow, why is it such a coincidence that all the people in Austin and also LA don't talk to him? I think he's also like, there's been a large part of his community that's been trying to like actively downplay and spread misinformation and lie, and especially, hurt Emiru. And I think that really, I hope that now, after seeing the receipts and seeing the screenshots and seeing the edits and everything, I hope you realize who you're defending. I hope you realize that this is what you've been fighting for. And the amount of like lies and misrepresentations and vicious attacks that she and other people that were involved in the friend group had to endure, and the pressure that they would put on people to interact with him, was disgraceful. It was parasocial, disgraceful, embarrassing, and pathetic. Any open message to Miz? Fuck off. Have some dignity and retire.
But yeah, crazy stuff. We just had her getting essayed live on camera as well on TwitchCon as well. And now she has to come out with this story. Yeah, this is just a tough time for streamers and their community as a whole. Hasan is probably so happy right now that there's a new drama and people might likely get off his back about shocking Kaya. The thing is, that's probably exactly the case. This guy's a fucking psycho. He's probably ecstatic about this. Now click this video or you lose your spine. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.